Hi guys, just on here a couple minutes early getting set up. So we'll just wait about 2 minutes and let people join on. I'm just going to test to make sure everything's working. Just on here a couple minutes. Yep, looks like we're good. And you'll see there's a chat box there. In order to chat, if you have any questions throughout, or if you have any comments or anything, you do have to click. I think you can choose the Facebook option, so you sign up through Facebook. Not really sign up, you just click that, and then you're able to chat. So there's that one step before. The instructions are just above it if you're having any trouble. So if you want to say hi, let me know you're here. Test out the chat box. You can do that. All right, so one more minute and we'll get started. So you know what, I will just switch this over to my screen share. All right, make sure this is working. So I don't want that, but I do want this. Hope everyone's having a good day. Maybe you've got your little one down for a nap. My husband's home today, so he's up with my son. He's just kind of getting out of that nap stage, so he still needs his nap, but he seems to go for a late nap, which I don't know how long that's going to last, but I am enjoying that he still takes that nap. All right, so early getting set up. Okay, that's good to go. So it's 1 o'clock now. I will just have a look here. Get started right away. Okay. Maybe we'll just wait one more minute. So I will check check the chat box every once in a while to see if you have questions. So, and then at the very end, we'll do a Q&A if you have any questions at all. So we will get started. So hi and welcome to the Mama Recharged webinar, How to Increase Energy and Feel Good Again. I'm your host, Terry Watt, registered holistic nutritionist, wife, mom of 2, and creator of Mama Recharged. So our agenda, so what will we be covering in this webinar, you might be wondering. First, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and my health journey, plus my rock bottom moment. We will cover the 4 steps to making big changes in your energy and shifts in your weight. I will help you determine if you are in the right place, if this information I'm going to share is right for you. I will go over how I was finally able to make big changes. We will talk about what's really going on in your body to be causing you your low energy, food cravings, and maybe even an inability to drop those extra few pounds. And finally, 3 simple steps to increased energy and weight loss. So my promise to you, if you stay until the end, you're going to leave this webinar knowing exactly how food affects your energy level and fat loss, so you can start boosting your energy and feeling better right away. So no going hungry or magic pills or shakes involved. And a bonus gift, if you are on live, I promised you a bonus for staying till the end. So I have a full 1-day meal plan for you that focuses on high energy weight loss foods, so you can see what a day in the Mama Recharged method looks like, and have a few of my favorite recipes you can add into your weeks. And it's actually a little bit more than a 1-day meal plan. I've added some extra smoothie recipes, tons of my favorite recipes in there. So before we go any further, I'll introduce myself. So who am I? My name is Terry, I already mentioned. I'm a proud mom of 2, ages 2 and 6. I'm a lover of decorating, coffee, turning comfort foods into healthier versions, and I'm obsessed with learning about nutrition, the power of mindset, and overall living your best life. I'm a little bit of a self-help junkie. and I help moms get their energy back with a focus on keeping it simple and delicious. The reason that I got into doing what I'm doing today is because of my past struggles. So I'll share a little bit about that. So my journey. So the first picture is me with my mullet haircut. Thanks, Mom. And the second picture is my university days. I gained a lot of weight starting at about grade 11, and it just kept increasing. These were the days of low-fat everything, calorie counting, and lots of artificial sweeteners. I was exercising in the gym almost every day, and I was still putting on weight. My energy started to really drop in high school, and I went from being a kid who had so much energy that I could never take a nap to a teen that just wanted to nap all the time. After university, I really started dieting and restricting food and lost a little weight, but every day, every hour even was a struggle. Food was always on my mind. I had such intense food cravings. My days involved intense effort in eating good all day and then nightly binges. And pretty much every aspect of my health started to deteriorate. I had acne worse than in my teens. My body ached like I was 80. My bloating and gas got worse and worse, and I wanted to nap all the time. I barely had the energy to get through the day. I thought I was eating healthy and doing all the things to try to lose weight, but it never worked. So I finally hit my low point about 5 or 6 years ago, the point when I realized I needed to figure things out and to do something different. It was when my daughter was about a year old. I had so many things I wanted to do, like playing and going out with my daughter, all the things I saw on Pinterest. I wanted to have a clean house and I wanted to make healthy food, but I just didn't have the energy. So I saw doctors and did blood work, and they all told me how healthy I was. Then finally one day I had enough, and I decided that I needed to figure things out on my own, and that I wasn't just going to live like that the rest of my life. But I can now look back and be grateful that I went through that, because that's what led me here doing what I love to do most, helping moms who are feeling the way that I used to. So we'll fast forward to today. I have the energy to keep up with my 2 kids, with building a business and eating clean. My energy is stable throughout the day, and I no longer have intense food cravings. I enjoy the healthy diet that I now eat and don't crave the unhealthy things I used to binge on. There's a huge list of symptoms that have disappeared, but I'll just mention a few, like bloating, gas, acne, brain fog, constant runny nose. There's so many. So now let's shift things for a minute and look at the 4 things I learned to make big changes in my energy and shifts in my weight. So number 1, it's not about willpower. Willpower will never win when your body is out of balance. Blood sugar imbalance, inflammation, and allergies take your body out of balance, and no amount of willpower will help. So that was nice for me to learn, to figure out, because I felt like, how does my husband have so much willpower and I have no willpower? But it's not. It's more about what's going on internally. So we'll talk about this a little bit more later. Number 2, I learned which foods were high energy foods for me and which foods were energy draining foods. Number 3, I got to the real truth of which foods create fat loss and which create fat storage, and that it really doesn't matter how many calories they have in them. So that we will go into dive deeper into as well a little bit later on. So next, let's pause and find out if you're in the right place. So who is this for? This method might not be right for everyone. It's for a specific group of women. And before we go further, let's see if it is the method that's right for you. So it's for women who aren't feeling their best. They're finding they just don't have energy anymore. No matter how much sleep they get, they're still tired. Maybe you've gone to the doctors and have been told everything is normal when you don't feel normal at all. On top of that, you are likely finding you are a slave to the evening cravings. You want to stick to a plan, but the cravings always win. So you're in the right place if nothing is working, no matter how much willpower you use or how little you eat. Eating less and exercising more just isn't helping. Also, you likely are too tired to exercise and too hungry to eat less anyways. I'll explain more why it's not that simple, and in some cases, eating more will actually help you lose weight. The next one is you already eat pretty healthy, but still feel like crap. I'll explain why many of those foods we thought were healthy aren't really, and how some foods might be okay for some people, but might be causing big problems internally for you. The next one, you are lacking energy on a daily basis and feel like life could be so much more with more energy. And lastly, you find or you have a few extra pounds that won't come off. So if you resonate with any of that. Next, I'll talk about my big fail. So my big fail was eating all the light, low calorie, low fat foods. Like I mentioned earlier, I thought the less calories I ate, the more I exercised, the less I'd weigh and the healthier I'd be. I thought it was as simple as calories in versus calories out. And if I just took in less calories, I'd lose weight. This is what we always seem to be told. I did it for years and never stopped to actually realize that I wasn't actually getting any better, nor was I losing any weight. And actually, my binges just got worse. I learned that calories are a very small part of a very big picture. Whether you burn or store fat has more to do with the hormones and what else is going on in your body. A calorie from a piece of toast is a whole lot different than a calorie from an avocado in terms of what it does inside your body. The way it digests, whether it's causing your immune system to flare up, which you'd be surprised how many foods we're eating every day and are doing this to so many of us. And the type of gut bacteria it is feeding has a whole lot, all of this has a whole lot more to do with your weight, your energy, than the amount of calories in that food. So I'll touch on all of these things a little bit later. I also learned that cutting calories and adding in more exercise often lowers our metabolism. So your body goes into starvation mode, which teaches it that it needs to hold on to fat just in case food is scarce. So if you're doing a combo of the two, kind of going to extreme, cutting calories and exercising more, even not really to extreme, but if you're making changes like that, often that's not really getting you any further. So I think I'll touch on that a little bit more again too. So you're in the right place if you are eating all the healthy foods and following the diet rules, but still can't lose weight and still feel like crap. You are eating yogurt, you're eating whole wheat bread instead of white, the oatmeal, and things are just getting worse instead of better. So my big discovery, most of us that have no energy, that are holding on to that weight, that just feel like crap, have something bigger going on internally. There's a war going on a daily basis that is showing up as all of these things: tiredness, puffiness, low mood or moodiness, unclear head. There's so many different symptoms it can cause, but three big ones are tiredness, holding on to weight, or puffiness, and intense food cravings. So I learned that so many of us have developed food sensitivities, which have generally occurred just because of our lifestyles today and the foods we've been eating over the last 10, 20, 30 years. This normal North American lifestyle, or standard American diet, as we call it, has led to a few things. One being sensitivities to foods. So what does this really mean? It means that normal, seemingly innocent foods, our body now sees as foreign invaders. As soon as you take one bite, your body now goes on attack. The symptoms of these sensitivities and allergies are often subtle and gradual. So most people don't realize they even have a food sensitivity. Some symptoms might show up right away, like a stuffed up nose, but more commonly they show up a day or so later. The top allergens are generally foods that we eat on a daily basis. So your tiredness, your puffiness, your headaches just seem to be the norm now, and you aren't really able to notice a connection to any particular food. It's so frustrating, all the years I spent trying different diets, trying to restrict calories and eat all the so-called healthy foods, really for nothing, usually just for things to get worse. So now we'll switch gears and talk about when everything changed, the three big things that made a difference. So number one is cut out the top two food allergens. So technically speaking, they're labeled sensitivities, but for the sake of this webinar, I use the two terms interchangeably. So allergens or sensitivities. So number one, cut out the top two food allergens. Number two, I introduced in more nourishing whole foods. Number three, as I learned more about the body, I started to change my mindset around food. So food is fuel. So the more I learned about what was going on, the more my mindset changed and my relationship with food changed. So your mindset is powerful. And even you watching this webinar today is taking you a step closer to that, to shifting your mindset with food. So you are in the right place if you crave carbs and your willpower isn't strong enough to get you to stop from eating them. Every morning I would vow to eat better, only to make it to the afternoon, or on a good day till the evening, and then just give in to all the cravings. I'd often eat whatever carbs were in the house, the granola bars, the chips, the popcorn. You are in the right place if you feel like you can't live without fill in the blank. So most common answer is cheese or bread / carbs. And those are also the most common food sensitivities too. So I'll explain that link a little bit later. My big mistake, another big mistake. Going year after year, putting in so much effort, trying to eat good, trying to work up all my willpower, only to fail time after time. Continuing to do the same thing every day, promising myself that I would do better, only to give into the food cravings later that day once again. When I learned that cravings actually had an internal basis, that both blood sugar imbalances and food sensitivities are the source of the most powerful food cravings, and no amount of willpower will work. Once you balance blood sugar and get rid of the foods that you're sensitive to, you can get rid of those cravings. So imagine your life if you didn't have that daily struggle with cravings. These two things are the main driving force behind those cravings. So imagine being in control of your cravings. How good would that feel if that was a thing? Chips might still cross your mind, but you can easily choose not to have them without the struggle that we're so used to. And you are in the right place if you are just sick and tired of all the BS out there. You've tried so many things and have practically given up, but not quite, because you know there has to be a way. So if you are resonating with the struggles I've been talking about, then I think you'll love what I have coming up for you. So the major truth: what you know about healthy eating is totally wrong, and it's okay to be mad about it. A lot of the foods that we're told to eat to be healthy are actually harming us. We have overconsumed them, and now they're causing us big problems. You can get enough calcium from places other than milk. Most of those whole grains are causing problems in your gut. Fat is healthy. It's essential for good thyroid function, for a good metabolism, and for weight loss. And in simplified terms, fat is not what makes you fat. Sugar is what makes you fat. And when I say sugar, it's not just sweets, it's things like bread. Bread turns to sugar, so it really isn't much different. You know what, I'll just pause for a second and I will make sure that there's no questions, make sure everything's going well. And you'll notice in the chat box, okay, it looks like we're doing good. You might, it times out after a little while, so if you do want to comment or see the comments, just refresh. Okay, no comments. So we'll keep going. Now we are on what's really going on in your body. So let's find out. There are two big factors we're going to talk about. So one is the blood sugar story. So I'm going to give you an example first. So let's say you are at a restaurant or maybe even at your home in the morning and you're trying to lose weight. So you choose a low-fat yogurt, maybe with granola and fruit instead of something like bacon and eggs. And so I'll explain what happens in your body and why that low-fat yogurt will lead to more fat storage than the bacon and eggs. So you eat the yogurt with granola and fruit. That is packed with carbohydrates. There is added sugar in the yogurt, there's sugar in the granola, plus the actual oats are carbohydrates, and the fruit are carbohydrates. So your body consumes a large amount of carbs with not a whole lot of protein or fat. Since it's mainly carbs, it quickly breaks down to glucose, which is sugar. When your blood sugar increases, then insulin gets sent in. If that glucose isn't being used for energy, then insulin converts it to fat storage on the body. So we'll break that down a little bit. So you eat carbs. Number two, carbs break down to glucose, sugar. Next, insulin gets sent in to take it to the cells to be used for energy. But if that glucose isn't being used for energy, then insulin converts it to fat storage. So whether that is a yogurt, a low-fat muffin, any of those low-calorie snack packs or cereals, they're big culprits to you storing more fat. The blood sugar factor relates to fat loss, but it also relates to energy. When you have a carb-heavy meal, your blood sugar spikes. You will have energy for a little bit, but soon enough, your energy will crash. You then naturally crave carbs to get your blood sugar level back up. So you have more carbs and maybe some coffee too to get you more energy, and the cycle continues. The cravings, the low energy, and the fat storage. And most of us are doing this day in and day out. Based on this, you can see how the whole low-cal 100-calorie snack pack or snacks actually work against you. So I get sort of frustrated when I see, when I think of this, the big one is Special K comes to mind with their commercials and the message that they've had. And things like that it's not going to help you lose weight. It's actually going to put on weight. So that frustrates me, that whole message that we get sent. So the next big factor I found, so the first one was the blood sugar story. The next big factor is food sensitivities. Not everyone has a food sensitivity, but if you're finding you are going through your days tired, you have intense cravings, and you just don't feel great, then chances are you have a food sensitivity to some degree. So think food allergy, and you might conjure up the worst case scenario, like a child. I'm just going to go back. So you think a child going into anaphylactic shock after exposure to peanuts. And no doubt a severe food allergy is scary, but it's also relatively rare. So a much more common scenario is an adult with a low-grade food allergy to gluten, for example, who actually never pinpoints the cause of her misery. So in this example, her symptoms, let's say her symptoms are vague, so it might be bloating, constipation, weight gain, and her exposure is frequent. So maybe she has it at breakfast, she has some gluten at lunch, and also at dinner. So the connection here is murky. And over years, the hidden allergy takes a toll on the immune system. The result of an overworked immune system is everything from weight gain to irritable bowel syndrome to arthritis, sometimes even worse. When you have developed a food sensitivity, one bite of a food you're sensitive to will put your immune system on defense. If you are unaware that this food is a problem for you and you consume it on a daily basis, then your immune system will always be on attack. This takes a toll on your body. It takes away from your energy, leaving you tired. So the common symptoms of food sensitivities, I mentioned a couple already. The symptoms can be wide-ranging and vary from person to person, but these are some of the most common ones. So bloating, gas, migraines, headaches, feeling foggy or brain fog, cough, runny nose, feeling under the weather, stomach ache, irritable bowel, so constipation or diarrhea, hives, acne, or any other skin issues can be a sign as well. And a few more common symptoms. So you can think about it like this. You might resonate with some of these. So if you find yourself saying, I can't live without my fill in the blank. So food intolerances are actually often associated with intense food cravings to those foods. You actually get sort of a high from them when you have a food sensitivity. So your body naturally feels addicted to them. Another one is you've tried several diets, eat pretty healthy, exercise regularly, and still can't seem to lose weight. When there is a war going on inside your body, your digestion, your metabolism, your body as a whole is not running like it should, so weight gain often results. Maybe you feel puffy. With a food intolerance, you tend to hold on to water. You might notice if you go on a low-carb diet or just cut out gluten that you lose quite a few pounds in the first week. So that is often the excess water getting flushed out. I've heard that the holding on to water is sort of a way that your body dilutes the toxins or the inflammation that the foods are creating. So, and then the next one, your health isn't what you want it to be. So this is another sign. If you just that term, if you just feel like crap, which I hear so many people say, then a food intolerance might be the reason for it. And lastly, seasonal hay fever seems to last all year long. So this is a sign of your immune system always being on attack. So maybe you don't have seasonal hay fever all year long, but maybe you have just started to develop seasonal hay fever where you didn't have it before. That can be a sign as well. So I'll just kind of recap what we talked about with food sensitivity. So it's how it relates to your energy, your cravings, and your weight. It causes inflammation and overworked immune system, leading to chronic tiredness. It causes an opioid-like effect, leading to intense cravings. It causes water retention and a puffiness, as well as reduced metabolism and thyroid function. And it often leads to chronic disease if left unchecked. So we'll take a break for just a minute, and I'm going to switch to part 2 of the webinar. We're about halfway through. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far and getting lots of valuable information out of it. So we'll go to part 2. And maybe I'll just check again, make sure we're all working right. Looks like everything's good. So we'll just wait. Just check the audio there. Okay. So the next part of the webinar is 3 simple steps to increased energy and weight loss. Oops, I just thought I saw something. No. Okay. So this is the Mama Recharged method. Step 1, willpower will never win when your body is out of balance. So blood sugar imbalance, inflammation, and food allergies need to be addressed. I think it's nice to know that it's not that you just don't have enough willpower. So hopefully you liked hearing that there's something deeper that we can do to change things, and it's not just that you don't have willpower. Let's talk inflammation next. In the past, when I would try to lose weight, try to get healthier, I was making one big mistake. I was ignoring inflammation. Actually, I wasn't ignoring it. I didn't even know it was there. I just thought inflammation was an old person thing dealing with arthritis. So what then is inflammation? Inflammation is when your body is irritated and reactive. It's like a slow burning flame in the body. Acute inflammation is one thing, but chronic inflammation is bad news. And it's caused very often by the foods we're eating, and we don't even realize that they're inflammatory to us. So what does inflammation do? It causes leptin to be less effective. So that's your satiety hormone. And you don't get that signal that you're full, so your hunger can be out of control. So, excuse me. I don't know if you relate to that. If you eat a decent meal and you just want to eat more and more and more. It also worsens insulin resistance, your fat storage hormone. It also causes excess fluid and swelling, so it can make you look puffy. It keeps you stuck in fat storage mode, and it drains your energy. So inflammation is something that we really need to address as well. So getting rid of inflammation often means less bloating, inches gone, pounds gone, energy up, and clearer skin. So my top tips for getting rid of inflammation without going into too much detail is to remove the top 2 food allergens, remove other inflammation-producing foods like sugar, processed foods, and bad fats. So now let's go on to step 2, blood sugar. So like I said earlier, balancing blood sugar is huge for losing weight and increasing energy. It's important to get off of that blood sugar roller coaster that we spend so much time on. Three important hormones related to blood sugar are insulin, and that's your fat storage hormone. So primary way to get rid of that or lower that is to cut refined carbs. Leptin is another hormone, so that's your satiety hormone. If you are running on the blood sugar roller coaster on a continual basis, leptin will become exhausted, similar to how insulin does, actually. You start to not have an off switch with food. You are never satisfied and always hungry. And glucagon, the weight loss hormone superhero. So for more glucagon, you want to add in non-starchy vegetables, protein, and fats. Earlier, we spoke a little bit about insulin, and to simplify it, the more carbs you eat, the more insulin is produced all at once, and the more fat storage that occurs. So unless you're actually burning off that that off, which most of us aren't doing after eating carbs. So many of us are having carbs, then we are sitting at our office, or we are sitting in a car, or we are watching TV or behind a computer. It's not too often, especially in my life, that we're eating, if we eat carbs, that we're going to go out for a run and burn it off. So if you're not burning that off right after, it's going to turn into fat storage. So glucagon signals satiety and fullness. The more glucagon you have, the more energy you burn while you are resting. Whereas the more insulin you have, the more fat you will store while resting. So how do we increase our glucagon? You can add in more non-starchy vegetables to our plate, adding in healthy fat, adding in protein, adding in probiotics, adding in more fiber to your meal. Those are some of the main ways. So let's move on to step 3, adding in an abundance of high energy foods. So we want to feed the good guys, and by good guys, I'm referring to the good bacteria, the gut bacteria. So we want to feed them by not only just fermented food and probiotics, but even just switching a diet to more whole foods and less processed foods, less bad fats, things like that. That will feed the good guys, and that will help to shift your gut bacteria from having too many of the bad guys and to having more of the good guys. So we also want to increase glucagon, like I mentioned earlier. We want to increase the nutrients your body needs, and we want to calm down the body. So anti-inflammatory foods like antioxidant-rich foods and less processed packaged foods. You want more real foods. You want more real whole foods, foods that your body actually knows what to do with. So that's the main message. It can get really confusing, but the main message is sticking with whole foods that aren't highly processed, and you will be doing a lot of good for your body. So we'll move on to step 4, and this is, we're going to look at lifestyle hacks to increase energy and weight loss. So this is the 4th big step, and it's important as well. We don't just focus on nutrition. The lifestyle part of it is also important in your energy and your weight loss and how you're feeling. So the first one we focus on is sleep. We are simply not getting enough sleep, and quality is lacking too. So I dive fairly deep into this in our Mama Recharged Method program. And I give tips on how to not only to be able to fall asleep better or fall asleep faster, but to improve the quality of the sleep during the night. So I know, as most of us are moms with little kids, and I know that sleep part is a struggle. So if you could even get better quality sleep in those few hours of sleep you get, that will really help your energy, your health, your cravings. That's huge. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's so hard to not want to binge on refined carbohydrates. So sleep is important to focus on. Exercise, you want to exercise smarter and not harder. So exercise is so important and beneficial, but too much can also have a negative effect on your body, on your weight and your energy. So balance is key, as well as adding in strength training and not just cardio. So we decide we want to lose weight, so we go to the gym and we run for an hour. All that work, and it's not really helping. So that's what I did for years and years. I would just really wanted to lose weight, so I would just run or do some sort of cardio, try to do more and more. And often that can, all that work, and it can be actually having an opposite effect for us. So also with exercise, it's important to find what works in your life in order to stick with it. So is that doing a daily dance party with your kids? Like, figure out how you can incorporate it into your days. Put on some music and jump around. Use your kids as weights, maybe. Add in some squats while you're doing that dance party, or maybe that's setting aside 30 minutes of me time, doing a workout that includes both weights and cardio. So you might want to talk about that with your husband and say, this is going to be important for me. I want it to be a focus. So I'm going to schedule in 30 minutes, maybe 5 days a week, whatever that is for you, however you're going to fit that in, and have some me time and just have some quiet time to yourself where you can do your favorite workout. And again, in the Mama Recharged Method, I give you my favorite YouTube workout videos. I give you all my different ways that I fit workouts into my life. So reduce stress is a huge one too. So you could be eating all the healthy foods, but if you've got chronic stress and it's a big problem, you're not going to get better. So this is something where a lot of people overlook. They'll try to get healthy in other ways, but they're not able to address the stress. So, and it can be hard to address stress. So we do. I'll give you a few tips right now. So a few things you could do, you could try doing, is journaling. So if there's something that you've got on your mind, it's just bothering you, you can get a pad of paper, write it out. This I actually like to do, especially first thing in the morning. If I've got something that's really on my mind, get a pad of paper and just write. And don't worry about what you're writing. Just have a goal of writing like almost a full page, and just write whatever comes into your mind. You might want to shred it after, then you're maybe more likely to share exactly what's on your mind, and you just get it out of your head and onto paper, and that can help. So that's one idea. Meditation really works for some people, and I'll give you some tips in the program on different meditation apps to try. Also, even if that doesn't work for you, going for walks can really help with stress. Another thing is making sure you're fitting in some me time. So whether that's a quiet bath with a candle, or that is just time, maybe in the morning with a cup of coffee to yourself, whatever that is. So as moms, we often overlook that as well. We're often go from morning to night without any quiet time, without any time to ourselves, doing something that we love to do. So figuring out how to make that a priority and how to make that work can really help too. So let's recap what we've learned. 1, we want to reduce inflammation. 2, we want to balance the blood sugar. 3, we want to bring in high energy foods. And 4, we want to incorporate some lifestyle shifts. So I know this is a lot of stuff, a lot of changes that I've thrown at you all at once. So I've created a program so that these changes are actually doable. I think back to when I was needing all these changes and I was feeling overwhelmed with it all. And I thought about what I would need at that point to help me, guide me through this, and to help support me. So a step-by-step guided system to get your energy back and to actually turn it into a lifestyle change is what I've created. I know our perspective on our health changes once we have kids. Our sole focus is no longer on how our clothes fit. Still a big part, I know, but now we care more about our long-term health. We want to be around a long time for our kids, and we want to feel good in that time that we're here. So that's why I created the Mom Recharge method. It's not designed to be just 4 weeks and you're done. It was important that I make these 4 weeks something that you will want to continue with. You will see the changes, you will be eating healthier, you will have a system, your body will calm down, and most importantly, you will still enjoy your food. You'll have a new arsenal of recipes, and something that once seemed crazy and could never happen, like giving up gluten or dairy or even your evening treat, is now something totally doable. And something that you love. And you can still have an evening treat, just a different version. By the end of the 4 weeks, you'll have determined if those foods are actually a problem for you, and if so, how much of a problem. You will start to shift your focus from a constant state of using your willpower to make your food choices to a mindset of using your food as fuel. This happens through learning a little more about what's going on in your body, but it also happens with the hormone and internal craving shifts that I talked about earlier. So who is this for, the Mom Recharge method? It's for you if you are craving more energy. You have a lot that you want to do, but you also have a lot you need to do with your busy life as a mom. But you just need that energy. So you want a plan that's doable. You're sick of dieting, of being hungry in order to try to eat right and lose weight. You don't want to be eating chicken breast and broccoli every night. You still want to be able to enjoy a glass of wine on occasion and maybe a piece or two of dark chocolate. You are not interested in doing something for a few weeks only to find out it's impossible to stick with. You're also sick and tired of how you're feeling. You want the energy and health that you enjoyed and the freedom from cravings. You've been told too many times that your blood work is normal and you are sick of nothing being done. You also aren't interested in being on medication the rest of your life. You're ready to take your health into your own hands. So I'm wondering if this is resonating with you. I want you to know that you can get better without spending hours every day in the kitchen. You can have your cup of coffee and a treat, just a new, healthier version of that treat. And giving up gluten dairy doesn't have to be a sad and depressing thing. You will discover a whole new world of great foods, and these foods won't have control over you. You will be able to enjoy the freedom that comes with the elimination of those intense cravings. Imagine the freedom that brings. Your body will have a better ability to tell you when you're full and to tell you when you're actually hungry. No more binge eating, no more giving into the cravings and then feeling bad about it the next day, and no more spending thousands on shakes or pills. I created this program because of the changes I saw in my life, and I know there are so many women out there who are feeling stuck. They're feeling the way I used to feel, and they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to make changes, and everything that they're hearing about paleo, keto, clean eating, gluten-free, all just seems so hard to do. So that's why I created this program. My mission is to give you a plan that helps you to see a change, but that saves you time in the kitchen. I've included tons of meals that are healthier versions to those meals that we are used to and love. I've included snacks that won't just have you eating an apple, breakfast that will give you energy all day long. We utilize leftovers in a strategic way. We also have a look at those things that are often sabotage healthy eating, like stress, being too busy, and being too tired. My goal is that you go away from these 4 weeks wanting to continue on with this lifestyle and being able to do so. So let's take a closer look and see what's included. So what's included is the 4-week meal plan. So I took a lot of time, and it was important to me that I get this right, and I make it something that you love. So like I said before, it's a lot of the foods that we love that are just cleaned up, and they're healthier, and they're high energy. So one example is paleo chicken fingers. So it's also meals that your kids are going to love too. I also made it so that you're not going to be spending tons of time in the kitchen. You're also not going to be having to buy tons of new ingredients. And it's simple and delicious, and it's going to help you to feel better. So let's dive into what each weekly meal plan looks like. So you'll see here that it includes a shopping list. So that really helps you to save time. You've got your shopping list all ready to go. It's organized by section. It's also organized with letters. So each meal, the ingredients of each meal have a specific letter beside them. So say you're going to be gone on Wednesday night, you're out for dinner at somebody's house or something like that. So you can cross off, I guess that would be letter D. So you can cross off the letter D ingredients. And then, or maybe you want to try out a different recipe, so you can add that in there. So the shopping list makes it super convenient. You've got your plan all in place for you. So you're going to be able to stick with it because you know what you're supposed to be eating. You can also customize it too. Some people like to follow the supper plans exactly, and then they have their own certain snacks that they love, or there's certain breakfasts that they love to have. So you can customize that as well. With a shopping list too, you can plug all this into the Superstore Click and Collect and make that super simple for you. You can just pick up your groceries and you're set. So you've got your shopping list, you've got your meal prep options. This is important too, and this is so helpful. So I polled my community and asked them, do they like to prep? Did they like to do all the prep on Sunday? Did they like to prefer to just prep each night? A lot of moms said they like to do a little bit of prep on Sunday. So that's why I created this. So if you decide you want to spend a couple hours on Sunday, maybe 1 or 2 hours on Sunday, and get a lot of the stuff prepped for the week to make your week so easy and so much easier to stick with, then there's this guide right here to tell you exactly what to prep. You could just choose some things to prep if you don't want to prep that much, or if you don't want to, if you're busy on the weekends, you can just do the recipes as you go. They're still quick and simple. So it includes a full plan. So you get 3 meals and snacks in that plan. And also there's level 1 and level 2 options. So this feature is nice because I know that some moms are coming into this program and they are finding that they're struggling with eating healthy, and they are so busy. They are going through the drive-through. They're eating a lot of processed packaged foods. So for moms coming into it that are at that stage, they would want to go with the level 1 option. So it's the same recipe, but it's just variations so that it's not such a drastic shift. Then there are some moms coming into this program who are maybe already eating fairly clean. They're already maybe gluten-free, but they're finding that their sugar cravings are just so intense, and they need help with that. They need to clean up their diet a little bit more, and they need to test out different foods. So level 2 option would be perfect for them. And you can also do a little bit of both. Some days I'll do the level 1 recipe, some days I'll do the level 2. So that's a nice feature. Another one is the kid-friendly ideas. On every recipe, on every supper, I've got a kid-friendly idea. So I've got one child that is super picky. So I've been there, and I know that I need to I can't just make all the recipes that I love, all these healthy recipes that I love. She doesn't always love them, especially if they've got lots of spices, lots of sauces. So you can still make that recipe, and I give you tips on how to make it more kid friendly. One example is, say you've got a complete dish, it's got chicken in it too. Before we add the chicken to it, we will have it before you add it to it, you'll separate it so they've got plain chicken instead of it with the spices and the sauce. So that's one example. So I guide you through that too. So you're not changing your diet and having to make separate meals for your kids as well. So I think we covered, yeah. So what else is included? You've got your full meal plan to get you completely through the 4 weeks. And that usually is enough. And that's most programs, that's what you would get. But I wanted you to have tons of options, and I wanted you to be able to continue on after the 4 weeks. So I have created recipe ebooks for breakfast, lunch, snacks, and suppers. So these are my favorite recipes that I've discovered, tried and tested and loved over the past 5 to 6 years. And I've put them into these ebooks. So you can test out different supper recipes during those 4 weeks, or you can just try out these supper recipes after the 4 weeks are done. And you've got a whole arsenal of recipes to help you to stick with it. I'm a huge fan of snacks, so you can still there's paleo cookies, there's bars, your kids will love these too. And lunches, tons of delicious lunches. Summer, excuse me. With summer coming up, I've got lots of tasty salads in there. Sometimes I'll just use leftovers for my lunch, but other times I like to do up a big salad and have that for a few days. Excuse me, I'm just gonna have a sip of water. And breakfast. Some are quick and simple. You can make up ahead of time and pop in the freezer. Some are more of like a Sunday breakfast. So yeah, this is a really nice feature to have. What else is included? I've got weekly videos in there for you. So you are really guided through these 4 weeks. Each week we have a different focus to help guide you through this and to help you with transformation. Week 1, for example, is we're going to slowly ease you into it with what to eat and what not to eat. So I'm going to explain exactly what we're going to add more of into your diet and what we're going to cut. And I talk about the why on that. And the video format is really nice with these. Now, week 2, we're going to focus more on blood sugar. So we talked about that a little bit in the webinar. We're going to take actual steps into the blood sugar. And also there is, actually that's coming up in the next one, the checklists and worksheets. So we really guide you through it. Week 3, lifestyle hacks. So we mentioned that a little bit. So with the exercise, the stress, the sleep, we guide you through that completely to how to improve in those areas and how to incorporate that into your life. I share with you my favorite exercises. I've got tons of resources and links to all my favorite videos. So you're all set with that. And week 4 is gut health. So that can be a huge factor in your energy and your weight. So we guide you through that too with a step-by-step plan on improving your gut health. So to go along with those weekly videos are weekly workbooks. And included in these are more information to help you dive deeper into that. But also what I love most is the checklists, the cheat sheets, things like that, the printables, just to make it easier to help you to be able to stick with it. There also is some at-home tests you can do. So instead of getting maybe some lab work done at the doctor or a naturopathic doctor, you can do at-home tests that are almost as accurate as the actual lab work that you would spend hundreds on. So for example, the gut health workbook, we look into candida overgrowth. It can be a big issue. So we can do an at-home test with that. It doesn't cost you any money. It's a very accurate test to see if candida is an issue. And we go from there with step-by-step protocol on how to help with that issue, how to help improve your gut health. And I've also included a bonus, which is a kitchen staples guide. So this is a nice bonus to have right away. Right after you purchase, you have access to everything. And this kitchen staples guide is nice to implement right away. So the program actually starts on June 4th, our group program. But this is nice to grab and to go through your pantry right away. You can learn which foods, which ingredients you want to trash. You don't necessarily have to trash them. You could donate them. You could put them in a separate cupboard. Maybe your husband's not completely on board, so you just kind of get them out of your view and put them to the side. You'll learn what your pantry staples, what to stock your pantry with and your fridge with. And also you won't be, you'll have some new ingredients that maybe you're not used to. You won't have a ton of crazy new ingredients. And if I do get you to get a new ingredient, say that is almond flour or coconut flour, then I make sure that we're using that often. So that was important to me. I know that when I first started this change, if there was a recipe had tons of new ingredients, I would just skip it. So I don't want you to be every week buying brand new crazy ingredients. There's also food swaps guide. So if you often like a bowl of ice cream, or maybe for you your vice is chips or something like that, I go through or maybe it's pop. I go through here and I put, so it's this, not that. So say it's ice cream, then I give you a mama charged version of that treat. So something that's going to be high energy, it still will satisfy those cravings, but it won't be draining your energy. And bonus number 2 I've added on is a better digestion workbook. So digestion has become quite a problem for anybody that's, say, over 20 years old. You likely have some issues with digestion. Maybe you don't realize it, but that can be a factor in your low energy, maybe with your weight, maybe with just feeling like crap. So improving digestion is very important. So that's why I created a whole workbook on that. So there are some cheap, effective supplements you can add in to improve your digestion. There's also an at-home test. So many people have got low stomach acid. And so there actually is an at-home test for that to see if your stomach acid is low. And there's a simple, cheap supplement you can add in to help get that stomach acid replenished. So like I said, that is huge for feeling better, for allergies, for everything. So I'll guide you through that as well. So you've got 4-week meal plan. We've got the breakfast, lunch, supper, snacks, ebooks. You've got the bonuses, the better digestion guide, the kitchen staples guide, the weekly videos, the workbooks, the checklists, the cheat sheets. But what else do you need? So for an effective program, something that you're going to be able to stick with, you need support, you need accountability, and you need your questions answered whenever they come up. So that's important. And that's why I created bonus number 3. So it's the Mama Recharged Method private Facebook community. It provides support and accountability, and you have lifetime access to this private group. So this group, we ran our first Mama Recharged Method 4-week program in January. And for that month, this group was amazing. So supportive. We checked in on at least often a daily basis with each other. We would do weekly sort of coaching calls. And anytime somebody had questions, anytime somebody was struggling, they posted in there, and they had members helping. And I was in there to provide support and information as well. So anytime you have a question, anytime you have a struggle, post it or send me a message, and I'm there to help. As a registered holistic nutritionist, you can it's nice having that support when you have those questions. So let's have a look at what people are saying. So you're probably wondering, well, how did that go in January? How did the people make out with it? So I've got some people that had commented how they did. So I'll read a couple of those. So we've got Amy. She says, I was part of the Mama Recharged program when Terry ran it in January of this year. I joined as yet one more attempt to try to figure out what was going wrong with my body. For the past 4 years, I've tried multiple diets, supplements, acupuncture, naturopaths, you name it. I likely tried it. After having my second baby, my body greatly changed, and one symptom was chronic stomach discomfort. Eliminating several food groups, as done in the Mama Recharged program, proved quickly that dairy and gluten were no longer friends with my stomach. I now know that if I want to cheat and have some, I will for sure be paying for it in a matter of hours. So glad to have found the answer to that. Terry is also incredibly encouraging and went out of her way to get different questions and concerns answered for me. I highly recommend the program to anybody who's interested in learning more about what agrees with their body in an encouraging and informative online environment. So that was Amy. And let's talk about Joyce's experience with it. So after discovering my problems with eating gluten, I was curious how else food was affecting my health. So I joined this program. I learned that my body also has a sucky reaction to dairy and is happier without sugar. If you're feeling weirdly tired, bloated, itchy, coffee, that's a word, or just curious about food's effect on your day-to-day energy, I recommend you commit yourself to this plan. Terry Watt will walk with you. I was very surprised to learn that cheese and yogurt, she says, I haven't liked milk in years, affect me negatively. I did not expect that. It's not difficult to learn. It's not difficult now to learn to eat a different way because of all the benefits. My energy is up. My bowels have returned to near normal. My cough is largely gone, and no bronchitis this winter. Thanks for leading us in this, Joyce. So I'm going to switch over to the fast action bonus. So I've added 2 bonuses. So they are bonus ebooks. So these I'm loving. So it's a bonus summertime favorites ebook and summer drinks ebook. So if you purchase before the end of this webinar, I've got the timer at the end. Then you can add these bonuses on. So I think I've got some notes on here, what I have exactly in those ebooks. So the summertime favorites ebook is a 41-page recipe ebook. So it's got my favorites from our potluck favorites like strawberry brownie cake to raw peach pie to 3-ingredient simple treats like chocolate peanut butter banana pops, simple popsicles, and easy dairy-free ice cream recipes. So all of these recipes are clean and simple. You can still enjoy your treats. You can still enjoy snacks during the summer. If you are going to a potluck, you can bring, like, there's simple desserts that everyone will love, whether they're gluten-free, whether these people are gluten-free, dairy-free or not. Everybody loves them. So that's one of my favorite ebooks. Summer Drinks is a nice one too with summer coming up. It's a 14-page ebook full of recipes like raspberry mojito, iced green tea lemonade, the Mama Recharged iced coffee, and the bloat fighting tropical smoothie, just to name a few. So you can add rum to those. You can keep them as virgin drinks. So make sure, if you are thinking about this program, you've got a few minutes left, grab these these fast action bonuses. It'll get you through the summer, and you'll be feeling good, and you'll be able to really enjoy your food. I love these, all the snacks and treats in those books. So if all this program did was allow you freedom from your cravings and an end to evening binges, if it provided you with energy throughout the day, if it stopped the endless cycle of going on and off diets, never having to diet again, would it be worth it? So I want you just to pause and think about that a little bit. If this program did any one of those things, and next, actually, I'll show you the results of another mom from our January program, and what she had said about it. So this is actually just an email conversation. She gave me permission to share this with you guys. So it's a couple different emails in here, so I'll just read that. And the image you'll see is her changes over 2 weeks. So thanks so much for all your advice and tips. I don't know anyone who's gluten-free, so I feel like I couldn't do it without your help and knowledge. I've introduced so many new healthy meals and snacks into our household. It's been really great. So here's my progress pictures after only 2 weeks. It's quite outstanding. Definitely less red and angry looking. I'm going to keep at it. The nausea is finally gone. And like you said it would, I really have no cravings anymore. I'm finding it quite easy. I'm sure I'll make this lifestyle change. So this is another email. She says, still going strong, 7 weeks gluten-free. My bumps on my face are practically gone, but the redness still remains. I wanted to let you know, though, that my husband has had his skin on his face flare up for about 4 years now, and we couldn't pinpoint why. Then after me feeling great without gluten, he decided to give it a try. After 1 week, he had no face flare-ups. Last night, after eating a bowl of multigrain Cheerios, which he didn't realize had wheat in them, he had a face flare-up. Red, tingly red. So wheat wasn't even on the radar for him. Crazy. I find it easy now to keep gluten out. I think I could make it a life change for sure. I like how not eating it makes me feel. I'm going to keep going with this. My guts just feel good. I always tell people that I used to have pains, cramping, bloating, and now I can't even feel any of that. And not only that, but my guts just feel good. It's so hard to explain, but I'm loving the results so far. So thank you, Valerie. So let's move on to the investment. So the regular price of this program is $197, but now it's reduced down to $147. So purchase it. If you're thinking about purchasing it, make sure you get it within the next couple days while it's still at $147. And better yet, grab it within the next 10, 15 minutes while you can still get the fast action bonuses. And we've got a money back guarantee. So if you decide this program is not right for you, once you're in, you can get a full refund within the first 7 days and keep the Kitchen Staples Guide and the first 7-day plan as my gift to you. So I thought about myself about 6 years ago when I wanted help. I was looking for a program like this. I would have wanted to be able to have a look at the meal plans, the recipes, and see if it was right for me. To see if the program was right for me. So that's why it was important that I add in this money back guarantee. I want you to feel confident in purchasing this. So if you're on the fence, I encourage you to purchase it while it is discounted price and while you get the fast action bonuses. Have a look, go inside the program. And if you think it's not right for you, then by all means, let me know and you'll have your money back. So I want you to feel confident in this program. A quote that I like, the future is always beginning now. So I like this quote because so many of us and myself, I went day after day, week after week, year after year, just putting it off, making the changes. And I spent so much time, I feel like I wasted so much time just living life, feeling that way. So that's why I want to encourage you to make those changes now. If you don't do it now, it's going to be, you'll put it off another week, another month, another year. So I just wanted to give you that little nudge that I needed years ago. So let's talk about what you're going to get in this program that I had mentioned. So you're going to get the Mama Charged 4-week plan, that full 4-week meal plan. You're going to get the weekly video plus bonuses. You're going to get the breakfast, lunch, supper, and snacks ebooks. You will get the bonus kitchen staples guide, the bonus better digestion guide, the bonus private group for accountability and support. That includes the coaching calls, what am I trying to say? The support of a nutritionist whenever you need it. And the fast action bonus, the summertime favorites ebook, plus the summer drinks ebook. So that's a value of well over $500, but you can get started now for just $147. So I'm going to check and see if you've got any questions. You can ask them now. Make sure everything's working all right. And in the meantime, there's the free gift that I mentioned. I'll just have a look here. So I'll actually type this into the comment box so that it's a clickable link. Since this is a video, it's not, that link there is not clickable. So I'll read it out. You can type it in or I'll add it in here. So it's members.mamarecharged.com /1 day meal plan. So grab that meal plan, check it out. So this will give you an idea of the types of food that we're eating, what the meal plan is like. Meal plan. And yeah, it'll get you started. Okay, let's see. So you should be able to click that there and bring that up. And I also like to, so you have it accessible once you bring it up. So you'll click that link, there'll be an additional link in there. It'll say 1 day meal plan in blue writing. So click that, it'll bring up the PDF for you. And I like to save that to either bookmarks or favorites so that it's easily accessible whenever I want to grab one of those recipes. So hopefully you love that. And I think that was about it. So I'll stay on for another minute if you have any questions. If there's anybody on here that has done the program before, if you want to comment at all. And if you do have any questions later on, you can either send me an email or send me a Facebook message, and I'm happy to answer them for you. So again, like I said, we are starting on June 4th. We're going to be starting the Mama Recharged method again. So anybody that's done it in the past, anybody that purchased in January and did it then, you can do it again if you'd like. You can join us again. So that's one nice thing about the program is that you have lifetime access. So if you purchase it now and you want to join in on our next one as well, or any of the future ones, you can do that. It's nice sort of like reset. And you have access to all the recipes, the entire program at any time too. So I think we will call it a day. I think that's about it. And thank you for joining me on this webinar today. I appreciate you guys spending time with me. I hope you got a lot of helpful information out of it, and I hope you join us in the Mama Recharged method. I will talk to you again. Bye, guys.